A silent night. You're brushing your teeth and your smart toothbrush quietly sends data to your phone. In the living room, your smart TV glows softly, updating its software. The baby monitor in the nursery emits a faint blue light. Everything seems peaceful. But as you turn off the lights, somewhere in the world, a stock exchange server is crashing under a flood of data. Unbeknownst to you, the devices in your home have already become silent soldiers in a global cyber war. Tonight, we're not just talking about hoodie-wearing hackers or shadowy figures in dark basements. We're talking about invisible armies hiding in plain sight. In your fridge, your thermostat, your car, even your coffee machine. Welcome to the world of IoT Botnets, where billions of ordinary devices can be hijacked and weaponized with a single click. Let's go back to October 23rd, 2016. It's 7:10 a.m. Suddenly, the internet slows to a crawl. Twitter, Netflix, Reddit, Spotify, all down. Panic spreads. IT teams scramble. The culprit? Not a state supercomputer, but millions of compromised DVRs, webcams and smart bulbs. The Mirai botnet has arrived. Mirai changed everything. 3 college students released code that scanned the internet for devices running on default passwords. Admin 1234. Password. Once Mirai infiltrated a system, it installed itself and waited for orders. With a single command, hackers flooded Dyn, a major DNS provider, with traffic. The result, a third of the internet went dark for hours. But the real terror wasn't the scale, it was the simplicity. Researchers saw that Mirai exploited the most basic human error, not changing default passwords. A single line of code could turn innocent devices into attack drones. The world realized, in the connected age, every device is a potential weapon. Mirai was just the beginning. Today's botnets are smarter, faster, and nearly invisible. AI-powered scanners, peer-to-peer command chains, and polymorphic code that rewrites itself every 30 minutes. Modern malware can scan the entire internet in minutes, finding zero-day vulnerabilities in outdated software. Command traffic is hidden inside ordinary DNS queries, making detection nearly impossible. Imagine a botnet that scans the world, finds a vulnerability in a smart thermostat, and injects mutating code every hour. The C2 server issues commands through layers of proxies and encrypted DNS requests. Even seasoned analysts struggle to distinguish legitimate from malicious traffic. Cybersecurity analyst Maya Patel puts it this way: they don't just knock on every door anymore, they negotiate, adapt, camouflage. We're fighting an enemy that learns in real time. Let's step away from the code and look at the people affected. In Sao Paulo, cardiologist Dr. Luiz Souza lost remote access to pacemaker monitors during a botnet-driven DDoS attack. Critical adjustments for high-risk patients were delayed. I felt helpless, he says. Technology meant to save lives became a threat. In Nairobi, when the national ISP throttled traffic to survive a botnet storm, students couldn't access online classes for days. We thought it was just bad weather, says teacher Amina Njoroge, but it was a cyber attack, and the students paid the price. In Germany, small business owner Klaus Becker watched helplessly as his smart security cameras joined a botnet attacking his own website. I bought these devices for security, now they're a risk. These aren't just numbers, they're real lives, real disruptions caused by devices meant to make life easier. In Prague, police let us in on an operation infiltrating a Telegram marketplace called Dark IoT. Hidden camera footage showed 100,000 device botnets rented out for $1,700 an hour. Payment? Monero. Target selection? Drag and drop. For law enforcement, tracking is a nightmare. Servers jump from city to city every few hours. When the raid comes, all that's left are Raspberry Pis and burned SD cards. The digital trail is cold, but the threat is hot. An undercover officer describes it. We watched buyers order DDoS attacks like they were ordering pizza. The scale was industrial. Anonymity was absolute. Every botnet has a command chain. The Wrangler, the coder who collects exploits and writes the initial loader. The Shepherd, the infrastructure expert who rents bulletproof VPS in countries with weak cyber laws, moves the C2, launders crypto. The Broker, the face who packages the botnet as a service and sells it on dark forums. In 2024, Interpol's Silver Lariat operation nabbed a trio in Latvia. Chat logs from baby monitors sold for Black Friday DDoS attacks were seized. Customers ordered DDoS crash packages like pizza. The logs were chilling. Need 50,000 bots for 2 hours. Target, rival e-commerce site. Price. Can we win this war? Maybe. We're focusing on 3 innovations: memory-safe software, Rust-based stacks that choke out buffer overflows, zero-trust home networks, micro-segmentation that isolates every device, global kill switch agreements, the idea that manufacturers can remotely disable compromised devices. NGOs warn of overreach, but security engineers say that without radical measures, we'll soon see a 100 Tbps Friday that takes entire countries offline. At a cybersecurity startup in Tel Aviv, engineers demo a kill switch that can brick hijacked devices remotely. It's controversial, says the founder, but sometimes the only way to stop a botnet is to destroy its soldiers. The story doesn't end with passive firewalls. It's evolving into algorithmic dogfights. At Johns Hopkins, researchers placed a reinforcement learning agent called Cerberus in a honeypot of 5,000 cheap IP cameras. Within hours, it learned to detect Mirai variants with 96% accuracy before the malicious handshake even finished. When the botnet morphed, Cerberus rebuilt its signatures in 90 seconds, proving that autonomous defense can outmaneuver autonomous attack. Lead researcher Dr. Emily Zhang says, AI is both the threat and the solution. The next cyber war won't be fought by people, but by algorithms. Not all attacks start at home. In 2025, a major European ISP discovered that thousands of routers shipped with pre-installed malware due to a supply chain attack. Months later, these devices became a sleeper cell botnet activated to disrupt financial markets. The new front, supply chain attacks, means even brand new devices can be dangerous from birth. The lesson: security must start before a device leaves the factory. We follow a router's journey from the assembly line to the living room, tracing the hidden code that turns it into a weapon. It's like a Trojan horse, says a researcher. You let it in, and months later, it attacks from the inside. As attacks escalate, calls for international cooperation grow louder. Cybersecurity leaders are pushing for a digital Geneva Convention to protect civilian infrastructure and hold states accountable for cyber attacks. Critics say it's unenforceable, but supporters argue that without global norms, the internet will remain a lawless battlefield. The future of digital peace may depend on what we do next. UN cyber envoy Fatima El-Sayed tells us, we need rules of war for the digital age. Without them, no one is safe. In the invisible war of the digital world, what we've told you is just the beginning. Now, let's pull back the curtain a little further and take a deeper look at the future of technology and humanity's role in this struggle. Beyond the digital conflicts, the silent evolution of technology is erasing the boundaries between the physical and virtual worlds. Hospitals, transportation networks, energy and water systems are increasingly intertwined with smart technology. These systems are marvels of innovation, but if exploited, they harbour vulnerabilities that could bring entire cities to their knees. The convergence of operational technology, OT, and information technology, IT, creates a new front where a single line of malicious code can shake national economies and disrupt essential services. This interdependence brings not only technical, but also deep ethical and societal dilemmas. Manufacturers often put security second in the race for innovation. In a world where even your smart fridge can become a weapon, the question is no longer will I be attacked, but when will I be attacked? From organised crime syndicates to state-sponsored hackers, cyber attackers exploit these weaknesses with such agility that public and private sectors are often caught unprepared. For example, autonomous cyber weapons are on the rise. AI-powered systems that detect and exploit vulnerabilities in real time, and even learn from their own actions. This isn't science fiction. They're being developed in secret labs, and unfortunately, they're also falling into the hands of cybercriminals. In simulations, these smart agents can disable security protocols in minutes, adapt their strategies with instant feedback, and evade even advanced monitoring systems. The results are both frightening and transformative. Defenders now face adversaries that evolve as quickly as they do. Historically, the evolution of IoT botnets mirrors the digital arms race. Just as mechanized warfare shocked the world in the early 20th century, today's cybersecurity experts are fighting on a digital front where everything is connected. Tools that once promised comfort and efficiency, from home lighting to industrial control systems, are now potential vectors for widespread destruction. The Mirai botnet was a warning about default passwords. Later versions, with zero-day exploits and adaptive algorithms, have become even better at evading detection and countermeasures. In this endless cycle of attack and defense, human error remains the greatest vulnerability. Despite advances in automated defense systems, basic lapses in security hygiene, like not changing default passwords, neglecting software updates, or failing to segment networks, can undermine even the strongest digital infrastructure. Victims' personal stories from around the world highlight this contradiction. A hospital administrator recounts how outdated software patches on critical monitoring devices nearly led to loss of life during a coordinated cyber attack. In another case, a small business owner says that neglecting a single update turned his smart security system from a protector into an accomplice for cybercriminals. Moreover, the impact of these digital attacks goes far beyond technical consequences. Social trust and economic stability are directly linked to the reliability of the systems that govern our daily lives. When a cyber attack disrupts financial markets, especially in supply chain attacks where routers act as sleeper cells, the effects can be devastating. Investors lose confidence, governments are forced to intervene, and ordinary citizens pay the price through job losses and rising security costs. The call for a digital Geneva Convention is not just bureaucratic enthusiasm, it's a desperate plea to establish rules of engagement in an arena where traditional laws of war fall short. International cooperation is essential in fighting borderless enemies. Recent summits with cybersecurity leaders, diplomats and tech innovators emphasize the urgency of creating global norms and legally binding agreements. As a UN cyber envoy put it, in the digital age, our weapons are lines of code, and the battlefield is the interconnected web of our civilization. Without common rules, we are all vulnerable. Technologically, as we dig deeper, the role of machine learning and AI in both attack and defense is constantly evolving. Leading researchers show that algorithms used to strengthen networks can also be used in the wrong hands to find vulnerabilities and launch preemptive attacks. This paradox highlights the delicate balance between technological progress and security. Every breakthrough brings the potential for misuse, forcing humanity to constantly rethink its strategies and safeguards. But at the heart of cyber war, there are still people. The stories of security analysts working day and night, engineers developing breakthrough countermeasures, and ordinary users arming themselves with knowledge show that the fight against IoT botnets isn't just waged in server rooms and command centers, but in living rooms, classrooms, and boardrooms around the world. It's a struggle that requires vigilance, adaptability, and above all, a collective commitment to protecting our shared digital space. Looking ahead, the landscape of cyber war is poised to enter an era of unprecedented complexity. With the integration of new technologies like quantum computing, both unbreakable encryption and radically new attack methods are on the horizon. The race is on, not just to secure our digital future, but to ensure that innovation becomes a bulwark against chaos, not a catalyst for destruction. In this dynamic and ever-changing arena, one truth remains: our digital lives are under siege, and the war is just beginning. Every new exploit, every line of defense code, every global standards initiative is a step toward a safer, more resilient, and fairer digital future. The cybersecurity battle isn't just about technology, it's about humanity's quest for balance in a world where the line between human and machine is increasingly blurred. As we stand on this new digital frontier, it's essential to stay informed, engaged, and proactive. The resilience of our systems and the creativity of our minds must be the shield that protects us from the invisible forces of cyber attacks. Remember, In the battle for digital supremacy, every device and every line of code and every individual plays a critical role. And in this fight, when we act together, we can make the future safer and more hopeful for all. Your smart bulb may glow softly, but its network interface is blinking for good or evil. Now you've seen how a single line of code can mobilize millions, how underground markets treat botnets like rental cars, and how next-generation defenses are finally learning to fight back. So what can you do tonight? Update the software on all your devices, even the dumb ones. Segment your Wi-Fi, put IoT on a guest VLAN. Change default passwords, all of them one by one. Pressure manufacturers. Tweet, comment, demand secure design. Have you taken at least one step from this list? Share in the comments which device you secured tonight. Let's build a safer future together. And if this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new hacker story.